What's going on, guys? So in front of me, you were looking at a very special RV. This is a 2015 Winnebago era. Floor plan is called the 70C. It is a Class B. It does have a Mercedes diesel in it. Now, this is actually my father's van, and it replaced his most current Class B, which was built on an E350 cutaway chassis from Ford, and that specific van was a Pleasureway. So roughly the same length. I'm not going to say they're exactly the same length, but they're roughly the same length. But one of the big reasons for him wanting to upgrade to this specific van is because, if you look at the back, it has dually wheels in the back, and it provides a huge stability improvement over the Pleasureway that he had. So that was one of the constant things that he would say that he wished he had on the Pleasureway. He wished he had dually wheels on the back, because whenever you're talking about these Class Bs, especially ones that are built off of a cutaway chassis, they can move around quite a bit in the back simply because you don't have that extra stability you gain from having dually wheels. So we're going to take a closer look at this van and show you what it's all about. What's kind of interesting is it's almost the exact same length as my F450, and it's actually a little narrower simply because the back doesn't spread out as wide as the back wheels on my F450. So that's kind of cool. So this specific RV, again, it's a 2015 Winnebago era Class B. It is the 70C, which includes one slide out, which is really awesome because a lot of these Class Bs don't have any slide outs at all. This specific van has a Mercedes-Benz V6. It is built on a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter chassis. They call it the 3500 series, like a 1-ton whenever you look online, but apparently the door panel indicates that it's a 3/4 ton chassis, so that's kind of interesting to me. It is a 3-liter diesel, 6-cylinder, has 188 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. It is a turbo diesel, which is pretty obvious. 5-speed automatic transmission, 2-wheel drive. The total length is 24 1/4 feet, and it's 6.3 feet wide, 76 inches wide. That's pretty crazy. That's a lot narrower than my truck. Overall height of 9.5 feet, interior height is 6 1/4 feet, and the wheelbase is 170 inches or 14.17 feet. This has a GVWR of 11,030 pounds and a 5,000 pound towing capacity. So that's a pretty dang good towing capacity for something like this. It has a freshwater tank that holds 45 gallons and a gray water tank that holds 25 gallons and a black water tank that holds 22 gallons. It has one propane tank, which holds 16 gallons, and the capacity is 68 pounds. So that is pretty cool. That's all the specs, and I just wanted to get those out of the way because, again, I'll probably forget some of them as I walk around the van. So let's go ahead and dive into it and take a closer look at the inside of this van and then walk around the outside. So we've already pushed the slide out. Let me let you see what that looks like. Again, it's actually pretty rare to see a slide out on a Class B. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, and there are other models with slide outs, but they're kind of hard to come by and they're harder to find. But yeah, it took them a while to find this specific floor plan with the slide out. You can see it has a slide top awning over the slide out. And when it's in, you really can't even tell there's a slide out except for that little crease on the side. So it's a very, very kind of custom form-fitting slide out, which is really, really cool. Okay, so I've already opened up the side sliding door. We're going to step inside. You have this really nice running board on the front, the back or the side area, and on the other side for the driver. Right here you can actually install a screen door that gives you a really cool little screen opening whenever you're sitting on the sofa and you want to kind of look out. So that's really cool. Stepping inside, let's kind of pan around the interior of this Sprinter so you can see what's going on. Stepping up front, you can kind of see what it's all about up here. You got some huge windows up here. You got a lot of visibility looking out. Nice captain's chairs up front with some suspension built into them, which is nice. There's your Mercedes shifter, AC controls. This has kind of an aftermarket navigation system built in, and what they've told me is it runs Rand McNally. They're not a big fan of it, which is the mapping software. Over here, you can see the speedometer. That's his TPMS system right over here on the dash. Has a curtain right here that wraps around the whole front. So if you are camping somewhere and you want to have some privacy, a lot of motorhomes have that, so you can essentially just close this whole area off. And I believe these chairs actually spin around as well, so you can use them as additional seating area back here. Up here you can see what really makes a lot of these vans stand out. The woodwork, the hinges, the mechanisms that they use. It's a lot nicer than you might typically see on, you know, your typical travel trailer or fifth wheel. Just the use of really, really high-end hardwoods, really nice hinges, really nice holds, all sorts of different aspects that kind of make these things stand out. Here is your sofa, which is also a bed. So this folds flat into a bed, and this is the main sleeping area, which is actually pretty cool. So you don't have like a dedicated bed in the back. The Pleasureway that they had, essentially the back could turn into like a king-size bed. Here, this is gonna lay down, fold flat into a pretty much a full-size bed. So that's pretty cool. Then your dinette would plug in down here. You have all your light switches, controls here for your awning. You turn it on and off right there. You can turn all your interior lights on from here. You have a 3-burner gas cooktop under here, which is really nice. In most cases, it's a 2-burner cooktop, and then this is super cool. This swings up and locks in place to give you extra countertop space. It's really cool, some of the innovations you see on these Class Bs to help you maximize the limited amount of space you have inside of them. Here is your sink, and it's actually a good-sized sink for a van. I mean, that is really, really nice. Stainless steel, the whole thing. I mean, the fixture, everything is stainless steel. Looks really, really nice. You have your blinds right here. It's real tile. It is actually real grout, real tile. So these things are kind of pricey. So the MSRP on one of these brand new, I believe they said was about $140,000, $150,000. So you pay a lot, but at the same time, you get certain fit and finish items and certain quality of items that just kind of exceed the expectation of what you might think. Again, the way these cabinets operate are super cool. They all lock shut, and to open them, you simply press a little button out, and then you pull it out. That is cool. And again, check that out. That's all real hard wood. Very, very nice. Little Norcold gas electric refrigerator. More cabinets all around. Check out all the cabinet space here. Tons and tons of storage. Really, really cool. Then these are all drawers. Lots of drawers. More storage down here. Basically, every conceivable area that you could put storage, they put storage. Now I've moved back to the restroom in the back. Just wanted you to take a look at this. I mean, it is a full restroom. This is not a wet bath. That is super cool. So there's your table that would go up front, and that's your dining table, or whatever you want to use it for, maybe a small office desk. You have a really, really nice sink area here. All Corian material. Nice mirror at the end. Again, more real tile down here. Real grout. Really cool. This is just the post that holds a table into that leg down there. You have some storage baskets, a nice little towel rack up here. This door actually closes, so you can slide this shut to have privacy. And again, it is a full bathroom. So here is your shower, which actually rivals a lot of showers you might see in a travel trailer. And then back here, which is super cool, and I don't know if he has anything in here right now, is your closet space. I mean, you actually have a dedicated closet here, and you can access this from the back of the van when it's open. Again, just the use of space is pretty phenomenal. You got to think about how they have to plan one of these out when they get it in, knowing how much limited space they're going to have to deal with. Here's your compact microwave. Looks like another really large storage right here. Check that out. Huge closet. You know, if we were going to get a Class B, this is probably the type of Class B we would get. With that slide out, it just gives you so much space right here. I mean, just a ton of space. So we're going to pull the slide in, which is right here. And then, just so you guys can see what it looks like with the slide in. Super fast. All right, so we got the slide completely in now. You still have a path around it. It's a little tighter right here, but you still have the ability to move by it if you need to. Well, that's really, really nice. So if you were going to be sitting right here, this is how much space you'd have, which is actually pretty convenient. And because there's a window on this door, you have a nice view. So you certainly have enough room to move around this, even with the slide in. And you're not going to have anything prohibiting you from using the restroom in the back. You know, my dad always likes to make the case of making a sandwich while you're on the road. So apparently if you have a motorhome, so I guess the #1 goal, to be able to make a sandwich whenever you're cruising down the interstate, as unsafe as that may be. But that's the thing I always hear, which is kind of interesting. But it does appear as if you would have a path to make a sandwich if you were looking to make a delicious sandwich while you're on the road. Anyways, we're going to take a closer look at the outside of this RV. But what do you guys think of the inside so far? I think it is super cool. It's got an air conditioner up top, of course. And then, of course, you have the air conditioner on the van side itself. Plus, you have a nice skylight right here. Got some smoke alarms up here. You have the ability up here to raise or lower your king antenna. Very, very cool. Let's step outside. Okay, we're going to start from the front and we're going to work our way around. There's that giant window I told you about, so if you're on the sofa inside, you can look right out of it and you have a really good view. That's really cool, and it's kind of cozy. You know, if you're in a really beautiful area, if you're up in the Smokies or the Rocky Mountains, or you're up in Montana and you just want to have a really great view from your campsite, you have the ability to just look out the window, which is awesome, even if you don't put the slide out. But, you know, the slide goes out so quickly and comes in so quickly, there's very few reasons not to put the slide out unless it's just not working. There's your awning up top. Again, your running boards going down the side. You have a connection here. So these are going to be 110 down here. And this right here is going to be your cable and a 12-volt plug right there. This rides on Firestone tires. And this has some really ugly worn-out simulators, which we are going to be addressing. Steel wheel with a chrome plastic simulator that goes over it. Coming around the back. You know, I'm not sure if it has LED lighting. I typically say that. It definitely has a backup camera, and it is not wired for a Furrion wireless backup camera because it has its own backup camera. I'm not going to open up the back doors because they have some stuff back here. Plus, you have to kind of pull the spare tire out of the way if you're going to try to open it. Again, it does have a receiver hitch down there on the bottom, and it is rated to tow 5,000 pounds. Coming around this side, you can see just the whole row of windows over here. Some of them are blocked, some of them aren't really useful because you have cabinets and stuff blocking them, but they certainly look nice. So cosmetically, that's all you're going to be able to use most of these for, simply because they're going to be blocked by a lot of the stuff on the inside. You have your 30 amp connection here. Coming around this way, there's your sewer connections down there. You have a propane connection and the exhaust for the generator on board. Over here, this is going to be the outside of your refrigerator. And then your upper vent is up here. This is an outside shower. This has blue efficiency, but yeah, so see, 2,500. That's interesting because the specs on the van, when you look it up, say it's a 3,500, but it's a 2,500 specifically built for an RV Class B chassis, so they put dualies on the back. Overall, very, very cool, and they love this. I mean, they absolutely love this Class B, and it's such a big difference over the one they had in the past, even though they really liked their Pleasureway, and you can definitely say Pleasureway's quality is pretty high up there. A lot of people would say it's probably the best of the best when it comes to Class Bs, but now that they've had this, they love the interior, the floor plan, that much more. So that's really cool. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you've enjoyed this video. I don't think I missed anything. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them below. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.